ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරයෙන් සුරකින්න. ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Savindri Jawardana. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Payment of interest on electricity consumer deposits commence. PUCSL assures more. Controversial coconut oil consignments to be re-exported soon. Government says. News in detail. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka commenced making interest payments for electricity consumers on their deposits as the Electricity Act. The opening of the interest payments for electricity security deposits for LECO consumers was declared open today at a function held in BMICH premises.
There's a clause that in the Act that the licensee should pay an interest payment for the deposits. It has been there since the introduction of the Act, but we have been the commissions with the licensees have been negotiating for a long time because it's a big commitment. As I mentioned earlier, once everything is enacted and started paying this interest, we have calculated the total benefit to the customers would be in the range of 1.4 billion rupees per year. From today, the consumers of LECO, the network, will receive their interest payment as a benefit amounting to over 120 lakhs per year according to our initial estimations, which will probably go up in the future when the more and more additions or the deposits are paid by the consumers.
Sri Lanka's gross domestic product in 2021 has been downgraded to 4% by the International Monetary Fund from a 5.3% forecast in October 2020. Addressing its recent media briefing, IMF officials, however, upgraded the global growth to 6.5% from an earlier forecast of 6% for the year.
The global expansion is led by the US, which is expected to grow at 6.4% after contracting 3.5% in 2020. According to the World Economic Outlook report by the IMF, Europe is expected to grow 4.5%, with the euro area growing 4.4%. Asia is expected to grow 7.6%, with China growing 8.4% after growing 2.3% in 2020 and India 12.5% after contracting 8% last year. Sri Lanka has already reported a contraction of 3.6% for 2020 amid a coronavirus pandemic and monetary instability.
We are now projecting a stronger recovery for the global economy compared with our January forecast, with growth projected to be 6% in 2021 and 4.4% in 2022, after an estimated historic contraction of minus 3.3% in 2020. Nonetheless, the future presents daunting challenges. The pandemic is yet to be defeated, and virus cases are accelerating in many countries. Over the past year, we have seen significant innovations in economic policy and massively scaled up support at the national level, particularly among advanced economies that have been able to afford these initiatives. A similarly ambitious effort is now needed at the multilateral level to secure the recovery and build forward better. Without additional effort to give all people a fair shot, cross-country gaps in living standards could widen significantly, and decades-long progress in global poverty reduction.
In the meantime, Sri Lanka Customs announced that all 6 containers of coconut oil containing carcinogen aflatoxin will be shipped to Malaysia next week. The consignment of coconut oil weighing 105 metric tons was prepared for re-export and brought to the Colombo Port Departure Terminal yesterday.
It was recently revealed that stocks of unrefined coconut oil imported by 3 companies, Ali Brothers, Edirisinghe Edible Oil and Katana Refineries, contain the carcinogen aflatoxin. It was also confirmed through a second test that the relevant coconut oil stocks contain high levels of aflatoxin. Thereby, the Sri Lanka Customs ordered the relevant companies to re-export their coconut oil stocks. The value of the exported coconut oil is worth over 377 million rupees. The Health Ministry has decided to strengthen the existing laws on aflatoxin. This decision has been taken to prevent the increase of liver cancer due to the consumption of aflatoxin-contained food items. Meanwhile, Trade Minister Bandula Gunawardena recently stated that a new gazette will be issued prohibiting the mixing of any edible oil with imported coconut oil, cancelling the earlier gazette issued in 2016.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
මගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරෙන් සුරකින්න මම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ එකෝ ටැබ්ලට්. ඔයාලගේත් වාහනේට බය නැතුව එකෝ ටැබ්ලට් පාවිච්චි කරන්න.
ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරයෙන් සුරකින්න ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
Welcome back after the break. The Imports and Exports Control Department has issued a directive in a circular sent out last evening to all commercial banks and Sri Lanka Customs not to facilitate the process of palm oil importation with immediate effect. The order follows President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's decision to completely ban palm oil imports in refined or crude form from 5th April 2021.
The commercial banks in Sri Lanka were instructed yesterday not to effect advance payments or establish letters of credit with immediate effect with regard to palm oil imports. The banks are also instructed to refrain from releasing any documents to assist the clearance of palm oil shipments at Sri Lanka Customs and not effect payments in such instances until further notice. Meanwhile, Malaysia, being the major source from where Sri Lanka imports palm oil, appears to have been visibly aggravated by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's move to ban palm oil imports. Traders estimate that Sri Lanka imports about 200,000 tons of palm oil from Malaysia and Indonesia annually. Accordingly, the confectionery manufacturing industry yesterday expressed concerns over its survival and security of jobs following the immediate decision by the government to ban its key raw material.
In the meantime, Good Life ex-founder and Chief Executive Officer Randula De Silva says that the world has already changed with people being forced not to sustain resources. She made these refreshing observations addressing an event in Colombo by the Good Life X to mark its success journey commenced very recently.
Good Life X or GLX was founded in 2019 just before the COVID-19 pandemic, and last week they celebrated the success of their entrepreneurs' success at an event named as The Future of Asia Business Champions Leading a Conscious Revolution. The first pilot project by the GLX was by GIZ Sri Lanka and the German government, and they proudly announced that the GLX is now its own independent entity. GLX also said that they have worked with over 40 startups and small and medium-sized entrepreneurs that have now participated in locally rooted but globally minded and sustainability-centered growth programs for business. GLX focuses on agri-food, tourism, wellness and design and many other sectors with tech innovators to solve deep-rooted problems in these sectors.
We had so much in hand, but we were really not making the best use of it. We wanted to change this, and that's what made us set off to do our first accelerator. That's how most of you know us as the Good Life Accelerator. And we started off our pilot program in 2019 with 6 startups who came under our wing. We worked with them for 3 months in a rapid immersive growth program, and also they got 1 million seed funding each to grow and scale up their startups. Now, these are a few of the brands, the 6 first brands that works with us.
Moreover, Good Life ex-founder and Chief Executive Officer Randula De Silva also explained how she got the idea of formulating the Good Life X, connecting with the Sri Lankan traditional resources, innovative entrepreneurs and the world which is demanding a lot always.
We've been working with SMEs, with startups, with public and private sector companies for over decades now. And we have noticed in the leadership, especially in this country, there is a very linear way of looking at growth, and they're all very excellent, but are working in their silos. And also, we saw 3 disconnected dots. What Sri Lanka has, the traditional sectors, the amazing, bountiful abundance of natural resources that we have, but have not been tapped into in their fullest potential. And on the other hand, what Sri Lanka is excited about, the tech entrepreneurs, the emerging innovation sector that we're also very proud about, amazing talent there. And on the other hand, what the world demands. The conscious consumers of the world are asking different questions from us. They want traceability, they're asking about transparency, they're asking a whole bunch of questions that they never bothered to ask a decade ago. Now, we at GLX saw this as an opportunity to connect these 3 dots, to create a new reality and help us at Sri Lanka thrive together and plug ourselves into the future of Asia where we thrive as a region.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
News, views, highlights, updates and opinions. This is Wake Up With Us.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 29.99 points to close at 7,310.26, and the S&P SL20 gained 20.46 points to close at 2,954.94. The turnover was 5.1 billion rupees and over 97 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරෙන් සුරකින්න ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
IWS Aviation.